Now, I don't think anyone would argue that Primal Fear is a difficult mod, which is why I've done many guides to try and help you guys out. And in this video, I'm going for my top 10 tips everyone should know before even laying hands on Primal Fear. Now, as this is a beginner guide, I'm going to say that anything before Apex tier counts as beginner. Now, some of these tips are a little bit obvious, while others might surprise you, especially number 2. So let's get into the list, starting with the least important at number 10. Number 10. Start making jerky ASAP. Now, when starting Primal Fear, prime meat jerky and regular meat jerky is probably the last thing you're thinking of, as you are just trying to survive. However, as I know from personal experience, you will need a lot of it later, especially if you have the boss expansion, as a large amount of it is required for different kibbles. A quick example, the Apex boss kibble requires 75 prime meat jerky each, and sometimes you need up to 5 to tame a high level one, resulting in 375 jerky required. So if you leave it until the last minute like I did, then you'll be waiting a long time for all your meat to become jerky, or you'll need to make a lot of preserving bins. So if you start making it early on, by the time you come to need it, you should have a stockpile ready. Artifactor the Great is a tier 0 boss, which may sound a little bit intimidating, but he can be defeated using an elemental flyer and a lot of time. Now, as suggested by the name, Artifactor will drop artifacts when you defeat him. In my opinion, this is the easiest and sometimes only way to get artifacts in Primal Fear, as the caves may have primal or even sometimes origin creatures hiding inside, which you'll have absolutely no chance of defeating. Also, the creatures you need to defeat them may not be able to actually fit inside the caves, so you may not be able to get the artifact at all. Now, in Ark, obviously you need the artifacts to take on the map bosses, but in Primal Fear, you'll also need them for different boss summoners. And believe me, you will need a lot of the summoners so you can farm the bosses later on. So the earlier you start getting your artifacts, the more you'll have when the time comes. XP potions are an absolute time saver when playing Primal Fear, as you'll be able to quickly level up your tames. Now, throughout your playthrough, you'll have a lot of different creatures, especially in the beginning, as many of them will die. So you'll need to keep leveling up the new ones, wasting a lot of time. So, by using an XP potion, you can easily skip a large portion of the grinding, which can become very repetitive. You will have to kill certain tier of creatures to get these. Small is obtained from Alpha and above, medium from Elementals and above, large from Fabled and above. Finally, max XP potions can only be obtained from Origin creatures, which you won't be taking on now, so let's not worry about them for the time being. Throughout your time playing Primal Fear, you'll need a lot of blood, hide and feathers for different items such as summoners, narcotics, saddles and more. This means you will need to defeat a lot of these tier creatures as you progress through Primal Fear. Now, instead of doing what most people do and searching the entire map for one of these creatures, a more intelligent method would be to breed the tiered creatures, wait for their offspring to mature, kill them and then harvest the items. A little bit sadistic, I know, but there really isn't any place for emotions in Primal Fear. This way, you'll have a safer method of gathering these items. Now, I would advise a creature which is big but doesn't hit too hard, so you can get the maximum amount of resources. Alpha health potions will save both you and your creatures multiple times in the early stages of Primal Fear. It can be made with 1 alpha blood, 1 crystal, 25 meadows and 5 rare flowers. These potions will recover 100% of your creature's health over a 30-second period. Now, it may not sound like much, but they will quickly become a vital part of your Primal Fear experience. There will be instances where you will need to quickly heal before another creature attacks you, or you can use it to heal your creature mid-fight, possibly preventing you from losing your creature and killing whatever it is that attacked you. Honestly, it should be higher on the list. The only reason it is here at the number 6 spot is because once you reach Apex level, you'll begin to use Apex health potions, which are much better. Once you move up to the next tier, you will probably forget about your lower tier dinos, as they won't be as powerful and will likely get killed if you try to use them. Now, if you follow in my footsteps, you may have left them in an old base and completely forgot about them. Well, don't, because you will need some of their eggs for different kibbles later. An example is a Fabled kibble requires both Elemental and Apex eggs. So make sure you have a breeding pair and an oviraptor to allow your dinos to continuously lay eggs. Now, linked to this, make sure you get egg laying dinos, as for some reason people expect mammals to somehow drop tiered eggs for them. It won't, not even in modded Ark. Now, this may seem like a bit of a strange tip, especially because it is so high on the list, as Ark music changes all the time. However, in Primal Fear, if you hear the music suddenly change, then that means there is a very dangerous creature lurking around the corner, or in most cases it's already seen you and is running straight at you. The only creatures that can be found in the wild and have their own music are Primal's Origins, the Emperor and Empress, all of which will one-shot you at this stage. So if you hear the music change, run for your life or just accept your death. Imagine this, you're walking along the beach on your newly tamed Alpha Track, feeling pretty good about yourself. You see a normal sized Dodo which is nothing compared to the power of your new tame. You decide to get a little bit too close, then next thing you know, you're respawning at your base with 2 new death messages added to your tribe log. Turns out that Dodo had strapped itself with a C4 and wiped your new tame off the face of the earth. Both Kamikaze and Nuka Dodos look exactly like any other Dodo, except they have a little helmet and a C4 strapped to them, which you probably won't see before they explode. These can easily one-hit any tames you have, especially the Nuka Dodo. They can also destroy structures, so don't let them get too close to your base unless you want a free remodeling. The best way to deal with these Dodos is to use any kind of ranged weapon you have, as they don't have a lot of health and should only take about 1 or 2 shots. Just make sure you're not near the blast radius when this happens. Now, as I said before, this tip may seem a bit strange, but I'm about to justify it for you. As Primal Fear adds a lot of new creatures, although there are a few flyers, most of them will be stuck on the ground, which is why you need to make your base as far away from the ground as possible. My suggestion would be, once you get a Pteranodon or any flyer, find a spot which either can't be accessed by land or only has a few access points which you can block off with some behemoth gates. This will greatly reduce the risk of a high-tiered creature like a Spirit or Primal just wandering through your base and killing everything in sight. The only other advice I'd give is make sure you don't have your base too close to the edge of wherever you decide to build, as a lot of creatures have ranged explosive attacks, and you can accidentally get caught in the crossfire. Trust me, I have been the victim of many Celestial Rex attacks which weren't aimed at me. Obviously, getting your creatures up to these areas will be difficult, so I would suggest downloading the Dino Storage mod, which I'll link in the description below, as these are basically cryopods which don't have cryo-freeze, allowing you to throw out multiple creatures and easily transport any tames you may have. I think we've got enough time for a quick honorable mention. Now, the reason this isn't in the tier list is because this list is trying to keep you alive, whereas this will probably get you killed, but will be worth it in the end. Now, in Primal Fear, there are Indominus Rexes. These are obviously like the ones from the film. These will always be in packs of 2, but when they're killed, they will drop a fertilized egg. Now, seeing as though the Indominus Rexes can be Alpha or Apex variant, this means you can get yourself an Apex creature as early as Toxic tier, which is absolutely insane. Now, the way to do this will be to try and lead a different creature, such as a Demonic, Celestial, Spirit, or Chaos, over to the Indominus Rexes and get them killed. Now, like I said, this will probably get you killed as well, but hopefully once you respawn, you can go back to the area, grab the egg, and start hatching yourself an extremely powerful creature. And here we are, my final tip. A Griffin. I can't emphasize this enough that a Griffin is single-handedly one of the most versatile tames you will have in Primal Fear. The main reason I put the Griffin over any other flyer is solely due to the ability to use tools and weapons on its back. I use the Griffin for every single taming opportunity, especially in the late game, as a lot of the higher tiered creatures will easily kill you while you're trying to tame them. So by having the ability to stay out of the way of their attacks, you'll greatly reduce the risk of losing your creatures and any other resources you have on you. Also, we know the Griffin is one of the fastest and most agile flyers, so you can easily get around and avoid any dangers. Now, apart from the vanilla Griffin, the next tiered one will be an elemental, where you'll be able to get a choice of fire, ice, electric, and caustic. When I played through Primal Fear, I had a fire Griffin and used it to tame creatures like the Demonic Reaper Empress, which is a tier 3 boss. Now, this could have easily killed me or my Griffin, but because I was able to stay away, it didn't even land a single hit on me. And there we go, that is my top 10 tips for beginning Primal Fear. If I did miss anything, make sure to drop your tips in the comment section below. If you need any more help with Primal Fear, make sure you check out the channel, as I have many other guides to help you out. Also, leave a comment of any other guide videos you'd like to see, and leave a like on the video and share it with your art friends who aren't too good at the game and need a little bit of help, and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.